Hey, what is going on, guys? So today we're checking out the Play Arts Kai, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, Yuffie Kisaragi. So yeah, this is a pretty old figure. I think it came out around 2013, so this is one of the original Play Arts Kai AC figures that ever came out. But you know, it's still such a nice piece, and I know a lot of you guys missed out on this figure, so I thought today we would take a quick look. So yeah, first up, let's take a look at the packaging. Okay, so on the front of the packaging, we have a super nice photo of the figure itself. And down here we have the Final Fantasy VII Advent Children and Play Arts Kai logos. And it's pretty much the exact same on the sides of the box. And on the back we have a couple of screenshots of the figure itself in various poses. And of course we have a preview for the other figures in the line. So right over here we have a bit of text. So if you guys want to read this, then by all means, feel free to pause and read. I really hope the quality is clear enough for you guys to see that. And here we have a super nice photo of the figure itself. Right over here we had the figure and a pretty nice window display packaging to showcase the figure inside the box with all the accessories. So yeah, overall, pretty nice packaging. And so first up, I just want to give you guys a quick look at how I display all of my Play Arts Kai Final Fantasy VII AC figures. So yeah, this is my entire collection. I think I pretty much have all the figures. I am missing a couple of the remake figures, but I will have those figures pretty soon. So yeah, this is how I display them all. I hope you guys like my collection. And of course, here we have Yuffie displayed next to Cloud Strife, Sephiroth, Aerith, and Tifa. So yeah, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the review, guys. Okay, so let's go right ahead and take a look at the head sculpts. So now, I think the head sculpt is pretty good. For one of Play Arts Kai's first figures from AC, I think they did a pretty good job here. I think she has quite a nice resemblance to how Yuffie looked in the film. Of course, they have the new remake, Intergrade Yuffie, which looks like a much better figure. It's got a much better sculpt. But I mean, considering this figure is from like 2013, I would say it's pretty decent. So as you can see, her eyes are painted a pretty dark brown with a little tint of white in there, just to make them really stand out. She even has her eyebrows and eyelashes painted in there, which is quite nice detail. Even the nose and the mouth are pretty nicely sculpted. I mean, it's not overly detailed, but I think it's a pretty nice job. And yeah, it's a great sculpt nonetheless. As you can see, she has her headband sculpted in there. And even the hairpiece is pretty nicely done. We have all these strands of hair sculpted in there. And it's got quite a nice paint job. It's not just completely painted black. And as you can see, we have this alternate arm holding a bunch of materia, which is such a cool accessory. I think this is probably one of the best accessories out of all these Play Arts Kai AC figures. It's just such a nice looking sculpt. We have all these various different colors of materia, and it is pretty easy to swap out. You just kind of pop it out and insert this alternate arm piece. So yeah, very, very straightforward. But yeah, here's how it looks. It almost gives off a glow, which I think is really cool. And then here's a look at the chest piece with this pretty cool flower pattern on the shirts. We have this pink band tied around her bicep. I mean, the joints are pretty exposed on the figure. You can really make out the joints, which I know a lot of you guys do not like on these older Play Arts Kai, but you know, there's not much that they can do about that. And in my opinion, the joints really don't bother me. And of course down here we have a pretty iconic Shuriken. Very nice accessory. I love the sculpting, and I love all these pink bands around the handle of the Shuriken. Very nicely done. Here's a look at the short piece. Very nicely painted. I love all the folds and creases sculpted in there. And we even have a couple of pocket pieces, which once again are sculpted directly onto the figure. And you cannot open them up. But anyhow, moving down here to the legs. So one complaint with this figure was the skin tone. Some of you guys did not like the yellow tint that the figure gives off. Yeah, I mean, now that I see it, you can really make out the figure has all these super dark tones of yellow paints, which doesn't look that great. I really don't know why they did this. Once again, it doesn't bother me too much. I still love the figure a lot. And moving down here to these like high shoes, whatever you want to call them. I really don't know the specific name, but we have all this nice lace detail like all of these strings sculpted in there. And so as for the side of the figure, so we have a nice profile of the face. So yeah, this is a pretty outdated figure, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I just really hope PlayArts Kai remake some of these AC figures, because I know that they can do a much better job with the new sculpt and new articulation that the newer figures have. But I mean, nonetheless, I still love this figure a lot. But I just really would love to see some updated figures. But yeah, only time will tell. And as for the other side of the figure, so once again we have a nice profile of the face. Yeah, very nicely done. I mean, check out all the sculpting in the hairpiece, all the detail work. I also love the paint job, like this kind of brown tint. It looks really cool. And moving down here to the arm, holding the bunch of materia. Yeah, very, very nice. And of course, the short piece. Down here we have the legs and the shoes. And so as for the back of the figure, we have a nice look at the sculpting of the hairpiece. And we have this piece of fabric running down here, all the way to the back. And as for the jacket piece, I mean, I love the design of Yuffie from AC. This is probably my all-time favorite design of Yuffie out of all the games and films. I mean, even the design of Clouds and Tifa from AC are probably my all-time favorites. I mean, Final Fantasy Advent Children was the first time that I was ever introduced to Final Fantasy VII, so I think that's why the designs from AC have always been my favorites. Okay, so here's a look at the accessories, and as you can see, these older PlayArts Kai figures did not come with a whole bunch of accessories. We have a very slim choice here, but anyhow, as you can see, we have the Shuriken, we have the alternate arm, and we have a couple hands, with one hand holding a materia. And apart from that, we have the figure itself, we have the display base inside the box, and of course we have the box itself. And so just in case you guys wanted to check out how the figure looks with the alternate hand holding the materia, it's pretty cool. It's just a little ball of materia, and it is glued into her hand, so you cannot take it out. So that is how it looks. And down here we have the alternate hand without the bundle of materia, which is down here, the alternate arm. Okay, so this is a quick demo on the articulation for the figure. So I mean, this is a pretty old figure, but it's still got pretty decent articulation. Much better articulation than the Rufus, that's for sure. But anyhow, as for the head sculpt, we have a ball joint in there. As for the shoulders, we have ball peg joints. We have swivels at the biceps, ball hinge joints at the elbows, ball hinge joints at the wrists. We have a ball joint inside the torso and a ball joint at the waists. Down here at the hips, we have these ball ratchet joints at the hips. As you can hear, there are super loud joints. We don't have any joints inside the thigh, which is really disappointing because they could have easily added like some type of swivel joint here, like they've added at the biceps. But anyhow, here at the knees, we have these double hinge joints. As you can see, they're quite nice joints. They go all the way up, as you can see. And as for the ankle piece, we have a ball hinge joint in there, which is also kind of almost like a ball ratchet. So yeah, that's the articulation for the Yuffie figure. So overall, pretty good articulation for being such an old figure. So yeah guys, that about covers it for the PlayArts Kai Final Fantasy VII Advent Children Yuffie Kisaragi. So I highly recommend you guys pick it up if you guys are a big fan of the character. I mean, it's such a nice figure, such a nice design, and overall, it's a great addition to your PlayArts Kai Final Fantasy VII figures, and it's probably one of my favorites out of all the figures. So I do plan to make a video on every single figure here, so if you guys are interested, then be sure to look out for them on my channel. And if you guys are new, be sure to subscribe to the channel itself, and don't forget to ring that bell notification so you guys don't miss out. Anyhow, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, stay safe, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Alright, take it easy guys.